Welcome to The Secret Truth. I'm George Butler, and we're live from the Operation Classified in Grapevine, Texas at the Hilton. And next to me on my left is David Heavener. He is an authority and an expert on Hollywood. Welcome to our program, David.
Thanks, George.
Well, yeah, the way I heard your whole speech, and what you said. You described Hollywood in a different way, like some kind of distribution vehicle. How did you say it? I can't say it you do, David.
I'm still stuck on you telling me I'm authority in Hollywood. Maybe I'm a thorn in Hollywood.
Yeah. You're an authority.
Right.
You're an authority.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. You just invented a new word.
No. Well, basically, I tell people, look, Hollywood is like a loaded gun, okay? Every time it points at somebody, if you're telling the truth and you're on the conservative side, it shoots off a bullet and guns you down, and people don't even know it. So what I'm doing is I'm telling people it's all about money, but it's not the Hollywood. Hollywood is a car, it's a vehicle. There's four systems: the religious system, politics, the financial, and culture is the four systems inside the vehicle of Hollywood. And all four of these are corrupt. Now, there's the good side of them, but we're talking about the corrupt side of them, George. They're in the car, the vehicle of Hollywood, and they're coming after you folks. And they've been brainwashing us for many, many years. So God has asked me to expose this.
You know, it's gotten more vicious and more violent, some of the trailers that I've looked at. I don't really go to movies anymore, but is it the violence that is just they're so prone to now?
Well, it's interesting about violence. If you look at the Bible, you're going to find more violence in the Bible and sex in the Bible than you'll find anywhere. It's really what's behind it, okay? Now, the violence Hollywood does is to numb you down, thinking you can rip arms off and legs and blow people up, and it's no big deal. It's not a big deal. That's why a lot of these kids get guns and go in schools and do what they do. They've been watching the video games. They've been sucked into the Hollywood vehicle, and they do this. In other words, you have no respect for mankind anymore, okay? And the sex stuff, which I talk about Netflix and all the perversion they have on there, the young kids are watching this stuff.
Yeah, you made a point earlier in your speech that children of these cartoons are vulgar and filthy.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah, they're making animated cartoons for children and preteens that are showing genitals, and it's very sexual. It's not, these liberals, they're talking about sex education. That's nonsense. Nonsense. Yeah. It's they're brainwashing and mind controlling people. So it's very dangerous, folks. You need to wake up. You need to pay attention.
Well, this is, it's incessant. It's nonstop, is it not, with our young people? They're so media-oriented. They're just into all this stuff all the time, it seems.
Yeah, well, they're raised now with media. I talked about in my talk that we started out theatrical back in the 40s and the 50s. Then we went to television. And then the deep state, the people that have this agenda, they brought in the DVDs and the VHS. How they got the VHS machines in the homes, George, was through pornography. They actually issued machines to people that wanted to watch porno in their own homes, and then once they had enough machines, they said, bam, let's flip the switch and let's put regular movies out so people could watch them. But they weren't happy with that. They took it on to social media, where you could actually walk around with it on your phone. Okay, so now you've got 70 to 80% of the kids right now that are actually exposed to pornography by the age of 7. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. But is it's getting worse, or where we're headed? Are we headed into a trend that's going to just break the whole country culturally and economically, or what's going to happen here?
Well, yes, we are. Okay. However, people say, we're going to save this. We're not going to save it, folks. It's a Titanic going down, but what we can do is offer a lifeboat. Okay. A lifeboat. And that's why I'm doing Last Evangelist. It's a TV series that depicts what's going on right now, George. In other words, what's happening now, I'm going to film it and have it out in 2 to 3 weeks. CSI meets the Book of Revelation. Then we formed David Heavener TV, which is like a Netflix. Well, my dad always told me, he said, if anybody's ever after you, buddy, if you ever get in trouble and they're after you, always go where they are, because they can't blow up the area that you're standing in, because they're standing right with you. And so I learned go.
So you're using the very vehicles they've used to destroy and corrupt the country to bring guidance and substance on the good side.
Absolutely, that's a good way to put it. Thank you. I'll have to remember that in my next presentation.
Okay. Remember that stream of light, of darkness I was talking to you about?
Maybe I have to bring you with me.
That's why we got to be friends in a way. I came across stream of darkness.
Gotcha. No, but you're right. Instead of tearing something down, coming against it, bring the light into it.
Yes.
The truth always prevails. Now, there doesn't mean you're not going to get beheaded along the way, okay? But it always prevails.
You're right about that. The good people in this country, they're going after them.
Yeah.
The system itself is going out there and squashing and liquidating the finest people that we have in the country, it seems.
That's true, George. But you see, we don't have something that we used to have. We lost it. And I know we're going to get it back out there. We used to have patriots that would go to church, have their musket there in the pulpit, take off their preacher robe and reveal their military underneath the preacher robe.
Yes,
and the preacher would say, "Stand with me."
Yes,
See, the church community, these wimpy Christians.
They've been humanized.
Yeah. They're dropping
Humanism.
the ball.
Man-centered.
They're not willing to stand up.
That's right.
For the truth. And we've got to get back to that. We need real patriots. And I'm not talking about just picking up a gun.
Right.
I'm talking about picking up the truth.
Yes,
and
yes.
marching with it.
Yes. Getting back to the Constitution, getting back to the Bill of Rights and protecting one another, loving one another. What I always talk about is forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness can begin to put us on the road to recovery.
And that's why I think that the dark side, they're so angry, if you notice now.
Yes, they're controlled by that hate and anger. Yes.
Because there's no forgiveness. I think if there was forgiveness, and when I say the dark side, George, I'm not talking just the Democrats. It's now leaked into the Republicans. It's really a movement into the darkness.
Yeah. Oh gosh, the machine. What I've studied this for 38 years. It's a big, humongous machine, and it's awful hard to deal with, and it's unimaginably gigantic in scope. That's the problem.
Absolutely. And here's the issue. The issue is that we need another party. This two-party system, I think it went out with the VHS tape.
Okay.
We need another party. Now, remember Trump, President Trump, when he came out, he was threatening he would go into another party.
Oh, yes, he did.
If they would not embrace him. The problem is, and you saw how they came against him, right, at the beginning?
Oh, gosh, yes.
I still think there's a lot of those guys out there that still don't like him. They're just not voicing their opinion because he won, right? If this man, Trump, was in a party of his own, I think you'd see the top blow off of this thing.
Right.
The
media, the mainstream media is so down on him. And, I mean, they're all the time. I mean, they keep that Jim Acosta episode the other day in the White House briefing room. Boy, wasn't that something?
Yeah. Do you think? See, to me, a lot of this stuff is planned.
Yes.
I'm looking at this going, wait.
To confront him and try to embarrass or try to put him down.
Yeah, but look, I make movies and I'm watching this. And I told my wife, I said, honey, this. If I didn't know better, I would think this is a scene in a movie that I was shooting. It's too planned. For him to stand up and keep doing that and keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what people must remember is maybe they've forgotten, Donald Trump is the king of reality television. You see, if you go back and you look at his past, he was on Johnny Carson many, many years ago. He's done television appearances on different sitcoms and so forth. This man understands the power of a camera. And the thing that I teach in my seminars, Donald Trump is the king of understanding how powerful the camera is.
Yes, he is.
So you think they're going to get a hold of him? There ain't no way. He's going to beat them every time, because when they stand up and do that little thing they did, you were talking about, he overcomes that. He comes right back at him. He keeps pushing the button back. Most of these politicians would back off and go, "Oh, I'm sorry. I want to be politically correct." Donald Trump understands it. He just comes back.
He goes after. He said, "Heck with political correct." He's charting new territory. That's why they can't pin him down sometimes.
They can't. I mean, it's like the fires in California, and my heart, and we have a good friend who lost his house in those fires. My heart goes out to families. I pray to God for these families. But, he pinpointed the forest department out there, and he said, basically paraphrasing, you're too hung up on regulations, and you're not taking care of business. Now, that's a hard thing to say to somebody that just got a fire going through. Of course, they came back and they said, we don't like it. But the thing is, the man's speaking the truth. You either speak it or you don't speak it.
Right. Well, he's the hardest working president we've had. I mean, he's in there night and day sometimes in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
You can't say that he's a slacker or a lazy or anything else. He works for this country, and deep down, he has a patriotic bend that's unprecedented. I mean, he loves his country. He has love for the country.
Absolutely.
He does.
And I don't really go political most of the time. But I will say this, that the man supposedly, and I believe this, I guess you do too, was a billionaire, at least multi-millions, right?
Right.
He has no reason to become president of the United States for money. Obviously, he doesn't get paid. Number two is, why would he want the notoriety? I'm sure he figured what he was getting into.
Right.
So he has to either be insane or he has to really love the country and love what's going on.
Right. Well, he loves the country.
I don't think he's insane.
I've been looking at him. He's more of a pragmatist from a philosophical viewpoint than anything. He moves in a practical way to accomplish things, and thus he can divorce himself from principles sometimes just with a flick of a pen or something to get it done.
Yeah.
See that, and that's why people are puzzled. They want to put him in a particular mode of thinking and philosophy, but he's pragmatist. I would say predominantly.
Yeah. And isn't it just like God to bring somebody like Donald Trump, that's a multi-millionaire, billionaire, and he shoots from the hip. He doesn't care what he doesn't care what people think. It would take a man like that, this day and time, to stand against what we need to stand against, right?
Right. Now, David, where can we find your new project and so forth? What is the website?
Yeah, it's lastevangelist.com. Go to lastevangelist.com. It's a nonprofit. I'm not taking money from investors. The whole TV series is
show us that.
Yeah, it's just funded by subscribers and people who donate. lastevangelist.com. And then I formed a davidheavener.tv. It's a Roku channel, so you can go there and sign up. It's $3.99 a month.
Okay, that's reasonable.
That's pretty cheap. I mean, Netflix, I think, is $10.
Well, so you're using the very media that they've been doing to destroy the country, try to bring some substance and reform to the country, which is that's admirable.
Yeah, and we need heroes too. So in all my projects, it's really important for people to have a moral compass. You don't have to be a Christian. You must have a moral compass. I'm not going to tolerate any more of these guys and girls coming on shows. Then they go out and do all this disgusting stuff, and kids look at that, and they're tainted by that.
Right.
We need heroes.
Well, David Heavener, thank you for being with us this evening. We certainly respect your work, and we certainly appreciate all the hard work you've done. Thank you for being with us this evening.
And thank you, George. Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you very much.